Bet you didn't know that Compass Wave can do this. I know, I get to share it with you today. I'm so excited. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by House Call Pro, which is the #1 rated all-in-one software to grow your cleaning business. Now, imagine you're a small business owner, you have a fleet that you're sending out every day. You're trying to keep track of all the scheduling and all of the customers and the invoices and the billing and all of that stuff. So you hire an administrative assistant, and guess what? Instead of hiring an administrative assistant, you hire a software. I know! And it never calls out sick, and it's never late, and it doesn't have family problems and other employee challenges. I'm telling you what, this is worth every penny that you pay. And it's the reason it's the #1 rated all-in-one software to grow your cleaning business. housecallpro.com/Angela, and they've set up a discount for me and my friends. All right, on to today's show. Bet you didn't know that Compass Wave does this. So what is Compass Wave? Compass Wave is a maid estimating software. So let's suppose, for example, you run a maid service, you get a telephone call, and now there's a customer and they're just price shopping. Oh no, how do I compete on all the pricing of all the other house cleaners that are bidding for the job? Well, I'll tell you what, Compass Wave solves that problem for you. It's so exciting. And now they've integrated with House Cleaning 360 and also Eco which is another business listing site. So now today I have on this show with me, super excited about this, Mark Lane, who is the creator of Compass Wave and the owner of Eco York LLC, which also designs websites for your house cleaning business. So there's so much that's wrapped up in this one show today. Pay attention, lean close, and please help me welcome Mark Lane.
Hi, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate your time today. Compass Wave. Eco York has actually been in business 10 years this August, so very excited about that. Compass Wave started in 2010, so a year after I started Eco York. I met a group of developers and we came up with the idea of Compass Wave. What Compass Wave is it's an estimating software for residential cleaning companies. So instead of filling out a piece of paper or using a spreadsheet to do your in-home estimates or trying to just have a contact form on your website without any kind of pricing displayed, our tool allows you to kind of weed out those price shoppers. We integrate now with 2 different online directories, House Cleaning 360, where we allow you to actually embed your Compass Wave tool on there. So instead of having it just a lead generation form, now you also can place our estimating software directly within that profile listing as well. We also integrated with another online directory called ecofurl.com, which is a referral and networking hub, which also houses different businesses in different areas. And we're also going to be integrating a referral aspect to that hub as well. So those are some of the basic features of Compass Wave, but I definitely encourage everyone to visit compasswave.com to check out some of our tutorial videos that we have on there. It can definitely help with your residential cleaning business for sure.
And so today, I love to play this game. Bet you didn't know this software can do this. What is one thing that somebody that's unfamiliar with Compass Wave that they're trying to check it out or they're curious? What is one thing they may not know?
So it pulls in the square footage automatically. So a lot of other tools out there don't necessarily do that. You have to kind of guess or select the square footage for the customer that visits the website. Some of the other cool things that we do too is we have a back-end quote tool that we just recently released quietly, of course. But now instead of only having the estimate tool on your website, if you're taking it over the phone and you don't want those email notifications to go out, you can run the quote from the back end as well, and it gives you the same price.
So for example, if a customer were to call me on the phone, a prospect, and they say, "Hey, I'm interested in having you come to my house," I could ask them a series of questions and use the software to get the answers, and then they wouldn't necessarily know that I'm plugged into your plugin and I'm getting the answers right off of that. Is that correct?
Exactly. Yep. So now we have 2 ways with Compass Wave that you can not only grab your prospective customers that maybe want to get a quote outside of office hours, but again, if you're on the phone and you don't want them to get an email notification, but you still want to run it through the same tool, now you can do that on the back end as well.
How do I make it accurate as far as knowing whether or not their house is like super cluttered or messy or if it's really clean or what have you? How do I give them accurate information?
So we do have a series of questions, of course, and one of them is the clutter question, where you can actually price that on the back end of the software. So if it's really cluttered or it's not cluttered, you can choose those options in the back end. The other thing our software does too is instead of just giving a quote, we actually allow you to customize the range. So you can give them a range of $100 to $150 to clean their home. And then if you actually still want to do that in-home visit, you have that wiggle room there. You're not giving them a direct quote of a certain dollar amount.
Do you know what I love about this? I love the fact that you can give a price that's fairly accurate based on the square footage and the clutter captcha is what I call it, and all these different elements like your cost drivers and all the things that are built in, so that when you get to the customer's house and you're getting ready to do the walkthrough, there's not sticker shock. Like they kind of already know this is what they're about to pay. And although it might vary a little bit based on whether they lied to you on the phone or whether they missed some information or what have you, it's a pretty accurate information, would you say?
Exactly. Yeah. And those questions are kind of why we put those questions in place. We're still working on adding some more questions into the mix as well as a custom question option as well, which we're building into the tool. So we're always innovating and still improving the software as we go along.
One of the things that I like about the software is you have all different kinds of upsells on there. So, for example, if someone says, "Well, I need my refrigerator cleaned," there's a section in there where they can add that onto their regular cleaning and a new price drops in based on that upsell or that extra that they're requesting. I think that's so cool.
Thank you. Definitely appreciate that.
Well, a lot of house cleaners will get to a customer's house and the customer will say, "Well, do you do this and do you do that?" And they're trying to get a feel for what you're capable of doing. But if that's already on the website, then before you even go to do the walkthrough at their house, there's a pretty good feel from the customer exactly what you're capable of.
Yeah. One other quick thing that our tool does too that people might not know about is because we do have a four-step process when you're getting an estimate through the website, all of the information is collected from step one. So the first step is collecting their address and zip code. If they stop at the second step there, where it asks them for the different questions that they have to answer, if they stop there, you still have their address information. So if you're using another piece of software to do in-home mailings such as SendJim, you can actually export the database and do a mailing to specific addresses of people that have actually visited your website but not necessarily received an estimate.
Oh my goodness, that's fascinating. That's great for retargeting and marketing for people that didn't maybe get an estimate the first time.
Yep, yeah, and that's something that we haven't really announced too much, but maybe it's something that I definitely need to make sure we make an announcement about that feature in the future here.
Well, it's already a hot prospect because if they're looking for your information as far as house cleaning, they're going to be looking in your area. People don't go looking in Milwaukee, Wisconsin if they live in Seattle, right? They go looking in their own neighborhood. So if they were looking for your service today, if they didn't for whatever reason buy and you followed up with them in a day or two, they're probably still looking for someone. And if a couple of weeks or a couple of months goes by and they don't respond or they it's another great time to opportunity to jump on the email and send them something and just say, "Hey, we're in your neighborhood again," and just touch bases because maybe they've hired a house cleaner that didn't work out. And now they're like, "Oh yeah, wait a second. We are looking for a new house cleaner again." So it might be another, opportunity just to keep them on the back burner and maybe ask if they would like to be on a wait list in case you ever have an opening because now you
Exactly.
know where they live.
Exactly.
So, is there anything that you would suggest for somebody who's never used your software, who's going to be using it for the first time, maybe just to get a feel for it or to look around, or how would somebody go about getting started if they were curious?
Yeah, if you visit the website compasswave.com, there's a form on the homepage where you can request to watch the free demo. We walk through the front end of the demo there. And then if you go to the resources and how it works section, we have multiple tutorial videos that show the different features that our software has. And again, we always offer the 14-day free trial. So during that trial, we reach out with multiple emails to point you to different tutorials to kind of walk you through the setup process. And then, of course, we set up your tool on your website at no charge to you as well, once you get the pricing and everything figured out.
And so you said you set up the tool on my website. What if I'm a new startup house cleaning company and I don't have a website?
You actually don't need a website because we actually create a what's called a subdomain, where you can use this specific URL and you can plug it right into any kind of marketing that you're doing. If you have a Facebook page, you can change your action button to this URL and send your customers to that, or you can use it internally as well until you're ready to have a website. And of course, you can contact our parent company if you need help creating a website.
Tell us about your parent company. What does it do?
So Eco York is my main company, Eco York LLC. We do web development, software development. The software development aspect is, of course, our Compass Wave software. But we have other software programs that we've created over the years as well. We actually own another company called Energy Design Systems, where we have an HVAC software for HVAC contractors to conduct heating and cooling loads. We do websites for over 50 different customers around the United States. So any kind of website related items. We also perform SEO, and we have some social media marketing plans as well called Social Serenity, which we actually just released this year.
So let me back up a second. Let me see if I understand this. Not only can you take a house cleaner with no web page, that you can take them and set them up with a web page, and you can help them with search engine optimization, give them some help in their social media and SEO, and you can hook up Compass Wave and help them with the pricing so that when they get to a customer's house, there are no big surprises.
Exactly. So
I love this. This is awesome.
it's not just me as well. We've definitely built a team over the past 10 years. So I have a team of other developers and SEO and social media experts that we have kind of contracted on here to work with us and grow our services so that we can provide a company kind of a one-stop shop to be able to contact someone that knows what they're doing and not just owning the business and kind of stepping back. But they could jump into the code and fix issues.
So I have a different question, and this is about maid services that are using Compass Wave. If you have a multiplicity of employees, does that change the price, or is it like a one set fixed price for every business?
Yeah, no, it's actually a one set price. So we don't price per estimate, or we don't price per employee. So if you have 15 employees, 20 employees that you need to add into the software for them to access the back end or pull down the sales database and see who's gone through it, we definitely don't limit you on that. It's the same price for everyone.
And I know that one of the big features about Compass Wave are the cost drivers. I plug in my cost drivers, all of my expenses, and then as it goes to estimate the job, it breaks all of my expenses down and it kind of amortizes it over the different jobs. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly.
And so if I have more employees and my prices have gone up and I have more cleaning supplies and more vehicles and all that stuff, it's going to still factor in all that stuff with all the different accounts.
Yep, yes, it will. And the other thing we have too is called the cost driver PDF, where it actually breaks down the cost for every single estimate. So you don't just get that estimate with the numbers and the questions and the answers. Now you can actually look at how that was calculated. So you can actually revisit maybe your pricing, and our software has actually helped improve and show that it actually might take longer to do certain tasks and help improve the pricing for me at service company.
So just that one feature alone breaks down the metrics of here's where your money's going, here's how much it costs, here's how we bill it out per job. And it's a really great way for somebody that's just starting in the business to really get a good grasp on kind of where the money's going and how it's coming in and how it's earned and all those things.
Exactly.
Well, that right there is worth the price of admission. I love this. So I forget the exact price of it, and we won't say the price here because the price may change or what have you. But for the price of a couple of hours, I'm guessing, of house cleaning, it's going to more than pay for all of the time you're going to save using this software. Instead of you sitting down manually trying to figure out all of this stuff with a pen and paper and a calculator, it's going to do all the dirty work for you.
Definitely. If you get one or two jobs within a year, you've definitely paid for the software and then some. And of course, we offer free support as well, so you're not paying for support or to ask someone questions. And because we have that website knowledge too, we can help you with any website related questions.
Alrighty, and that was Mark Lane from Eco York LLC. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us today and for giving us all of those insights. And I'm going to leave links in the show notes to everything that Mark talked about so that you guys can participate, you can find him, you can have a conversation with him, and you can also give a trial to Compass Wave. All right, if you found this helpful, please pass it on to a friend. If we've earned your subscription, please subscribe. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.